So good afternoon. So my topic is on the power of emotional intelligence and retail design. You will soon find out that emotional intelligence is the most powerful intelligence that humans have. So despite all this artificial intelligence, technology, all that comes in, I think it's emotional intelligence is the most important. So great retail design speaks to the heart before it sells to the mind. So irrespective of how a store is interacting with the customer, at the end of it the customer has to feel good. So at the end point is an emotional positive, right? So retail design does need to the heart irrespective of what they use, what kind of tools that you're using. I think it's about again selling to the heart. So there are about 4-5 intelligences which we'll start with before I actually come to amplifying each of these intelligence that humans have. Emotional intelligence, of course, what I mentioned is the first one, and that's the ability to recognize, understand, manage and influence emotions for better relationships and well-being. Well-being and this mental health, with more technology coming in, with more multitasking that we're doing, that has become such a big issue. And you'll see that in terms of if you speak to counselors and therapists, they are busy like they've never been before. So for humans to understand that, we still believe that it can't be, the counseling cannot be done by a machine. A chat bot can do only that much. It has specific questions. Again, the existence or the happy existence of humans today is again depending on our emotional intelligence. Same thing happens with customers too, right? If a customer feels unhappy, they don't want to talk to a machine. They want to talk to a salesperson. They want to talk to some service person who can actually understand. They say no, they don't understand. So I think emotional intelligence is, like I said, one of the key things that is there. Social intelligence, the ability to understand and manage social situations through empathy, adaptability, communication, awareness of social dynamics and relationships. So this social intelligence is something which again humans have, machines don't have. You will know that when you walk into a room whether you feel wanted there or not. You'll feel welcome in a place. It happens by body language that happens. Or when you socially meet somebody, just looking into their eye, like we do with customers. Some customers, service people, the way they look at you, you know that okay, don't disturb me. Or they'll look at you in such a way saying, I need help. So this is social intelligence is something which we have. So I think retail design also need to understand that the social aspect of how you build a community. Do I belong there? So this is again another intelligence which humans have. Creative intelligence, if you look at this, beautiful, this artist, the street artist, how they create illusion by doing that. This is something which a machine can't do. This, you think about it and you do it, and then you're actually interacting with that. It's absolute fantastic creativity, the ability to think imaginatively and generate original ideas. And if you see all machines, machine learning, I'm not against that, but I'm just saying that we are still behind everything. The human creative intelligence is still there. Practical intelligence, if you see this parkour guys, it's about being practical. I know that now this height, if I jump, it might hurt my knee because I know I got a bad knee. I know to step down. Like you see the parkour guy. I have spoken to somebody who's a parkour, one of my relatives in the US who does parkour. Then how do you practice? Do you already know where you're going to go? He says no. I generally see the landscape and I just run. And as I get close to it, understand how to transfer my body weight, what will take my weight, how do I grab it, how do I switch my balance, and that if I do one somersault, I'll land in the right place. It's a practical intelligence that we automatically have. That whether we can do it, whether we can't. I know I can't lift this with one hand. Who's telling me that? Because that's practical intelligence. We have that too. So I think that's again very important. That's the ability to navigate real world challenges using experience, physical problem solving skills, adaptability and common sense. Those say common sense is not very common in most people, but we do have common sense. So we know what works, what doesn't work. Analytical intelligence, this is where technology starts coming in. It helps us do this faster. So this is again the ability to evaluate, break down, solve complex problems using logical thinking. That's the left side of our brain, and reasoning to make informed decisions, right? Analytical skills. We have 12.5 million shopkeepers in India, and it works, right? And not all of them are computer literate. They still have analytical intelligence. If you go to a small kirana shop guy, he can tell you that itna bikega to I'll make money this month, or maybe I won't make money this month. So we do have analytical intelligence. Only thing, when we start getting dependent on machines, or gets too complex, it's too scaled, then you see there is a problem. You do need help for somebody else to handle a lot of data. So analytical intelligence also something that we have. Now AI, we've had a lot of conversations on AI. So what is AI? So AI will be to analytics what electricity was to the industry. An essential force that enhances human capacity. It doesn't replace, right? Maybe many years down the line, maybe when I'm not there, I know 10, 20 years, it might replace, but that's not the idea. At the end of it, humans, the earth belongs to humans, and we'll ensure that whatever happens is for our happiness, right? So it's supposed to enhance human capabilities. Well, this is said by the former IBM CEO himself. So AI is again artificial intelligence about ability to simulate human logical and analytical. Again, you see, it's not emotional, not social, not practical. Analytical intelligence through data analysis and algorithms. Algorithms are what? They are just formulas which you input something to that, it gives an output. It can't create anything other than the output that it's meant to create. So we have all these intelligences: emotional, social, creative, practical, analytical, and artificial intelligence. Now, how do we leverage this? So we need to remember one thing, that emotional intelligence is the mother of all human intelligences, right? If you're not emotive, if you can't feel love, if you can't feel compassion, there's no point of having all the machinery at the end of it, right? Because without understanding ourselves and others, all our other intelligences meaningless. So how do we leverage that emotional intelligence? We don't have to feel that machines and AI and technology is going to take over us. It's meant for us. So I've got some examples on how emotional intelligence, hand in hand with the other intelligence that we have, can enhance retail design, right? So let's look at the first one, emotional intelligence. You add it to social intelligence. So there are brands who have looked at this. So what is this? Enhances human interactions, human to human. So there are brands in which they encourage customers to talk to each other, build a community. So let's look at one of those brands. Lululemon. Those who have heard, it's an athleisure brand. It's a US based, UK based athleisure brand. UK, US? US. It's Canadian, sorry, yeah, Canadian. And they completely, their whole, their ethos is about building community for their customers. So even if you look at their store design, and this is the Lululemon store in London, the way they have done the clustering of mannequins inside the store, it's all about community. You look at this, the cluster of mannequins right at the back. I think I should stand here. I hope I don't fall down. Okay. And yeah, you see this? So again, you see the way they have, so this itself shows community. You walk into the store, it's not about just personal styling. Yes, personal styling, important. But I think the community part of it really comes very strong. So not only that, you come in, walk in, it's right there at the beginning of the store itself. You have this board that says, yoga, wellness talk, cardio classes, and all these are not personal trainers. They are all groups of people. In fact, recently I was in Bahrain, and in one of the, harbor fronts next to a huge community which lives there, they came and set up one pop-up area. They put all the yoga mats, they brought in music, people came, all of them were chatting with each other. They finished doing yoga, and then they were served juices and all that, and they were laughing and chatting together. I mean, that's how they are not just about the store. This is a brand that's again looking at building in very strong social intelligence and integrating it that emotional intelligence. They're able to create a store design. So as you go, you'll see, this is how this, even inside the store, you'll see there are community spaces where you sit, engage with each other. Of course, they have got a huge amount of products too, and you can see this inside the store. So the fixtures are all made mobile, so you can kind of move them aside and then create this space in the middle, and they do this. And not only that, they take it even to communities. Store goes to communities, and therefore you're building this huge connection between the brand and what the brand stands for. And obviously the products are great. I mean, they're all sustainable, and if you look at it, each product has fantastic features. So they do use technology in the store for people to discover the different product features of the brand. You can see this, create what you believe. So after that you enjoy, and then you can also look at that wall where you actually take the Polaroid pictures and then you post it there. So others are coming in. If you go to the store, you'll see everybody actually comes there and they have a great time. They feel at the end of it happy, social connect. They feel happy. They come in and express their happiness in the store itself. And if you go to their social media, it's all about this, all about how I did stuff with other people. It's not I'm feeling happy because there's a community of people I worked with. Yeah. So that's Lululemon. Let's look at emotional intelligence if you add it to creative intelligence. Now this is a beautiful story I have to tell you. So it's emotionally inspiring and very memorable. So I'd been to Boston some time back. Akash sitting there was there with me, okay, and came across this Johnny Cupcake, and it said an unordinary bakery. So what did you think? He sells cakes, bakery products, right? That's what you think. See the creativity of this guy. And this guy, okay, I'll come to him later. Let me show you the cake. So let me show you the store. Walk further in, this is what I see. It still says Johnny Cupcake, top innovators in retail sales, but an unordinary bakery. So I walk further in, up the steps, and then I see this. You see that on the left hand side, you see those pink footsteps on the floor that kind of leads you into the doorway. As I walk in, I see this cake mixing machine in the front, again all about cakes. I go further in, more to explore, then just give a tug. Just give a tug to the door, you open it, again cakes. You see a whole lineup of ovens inside the store. Beautiful. You walk in, it's sensorial. The kind of lighting, the kind of way they have done that. You remember that, Akash? We were there together. And you walk right in and you're wondering till then what is this store about. And you're walking further in, and then you see this again another section from there, and you walk further in and you see this. So it looks like they're selling cakes, right? You've got these beautiful food counters. They look as though they're chilled. And what they have inside that, this is not, yeah. Can you see that? It's got apparel, accessories inside that. So all through the store, so not only on the floor fixtures, you can see that now, the caps. So it's all about Johnny's Cupcakes stuff inside these fixtures, and you can see that on the wall too. Yeah, you can see that on the wall too. So these are again refrigerated units which are there. I mean, I'll never forget that. It's so creative. And when you're done, okay, then this is one of the customers who came first time to the store. This is not a bakery and does not sell actual cupcakes. Wish I could give 0 stars, but that was not an option. I was very disappointed. Probably very good cloths, but I literally do not care because I feel tricked. That's one customer. It smelled and looked like a bakery even the smell was like a bakery when you walked in. So they had ensured that the smell was like a bakery. And it looked like a bakery along with having a confusing name. Not satisfied. Would not recommend to anybody who is even ever remotely hungry. Clothing not edible, change your name. So what this guy does, he prints it on the t-shirt and it's on huge rage. He said, thank you very much. I am a trickster. That's how it works. And then he prints it, and this itself has become a huge hit for him. So he believes in this thing of, memorabilia, right? He'll build the moment. He'll print it on the t-shirt and then create this across and sell it off. And what he does, he'll make an announcement on social media that the next set of t-shirts are going to be sold in this particular place. A huge crowd of people go. So that's his clientele, that they do that. And yeah, this is the guy. So he apparently was he says Johnny Cupcake, tricking people since forever. So in his young age, in his school, he was known for doing these pranks on people. He was very often actually caught by his or the teachers and punished for it, and he continued to do that. That's the way he was. So finally he decided, let me make this a business. He made a business model of his, and then he's a huge figure in the fashion industry. So this is creativity. Who would ever think of it? And you would think this guy has become a billionaire now. One would think that he started from nothing, just playing pranks, and then he's become a billionaire. I mean, it's fantastic, and he does. I mean, we were there to hear him speak, if you remember, and yeah. So I mean, that's I spent some time chatting with this guy. I mean, he's really amazing. This guy. Let's look at the next one. So that's Johnny Cupcake, creativity. Who would ever think you could do that? I don't think a machine can ever throw up an idea, or is purely his own. How he created a disadvantage that he had into a huge advantage and made that a business. Emotional intelligence added to practical intelligence. How does this work? Stress-free humanized interaction. So this is again a brand which we worked on, and one of the main things, so many tiles. One of the main things they said, there's a lot of stress when you buy tile. Am I buying the right tile? Is this going to work for me? So the stress of buying a tile when you come in, you're coming along with an architect who's an influencer. How do we handle this stress? How do we bring in practicality? So here it's about touch and feel, tactile. I can probably browse a tile, but I still need to see it, right? If you're saying it's a non-slip tile, I need to step on it to see, is it really non-slip, or for me, maybe it's non-slip for somebody else, but is it non-slip for me? I need to check that, right? I don't think anybody is going to invest a lot of money on a tile which you're saying non-slip, because you're going to fall and get hurt. Various things like that. Or you're saying a tile looks like wood, or a tile looks like stone. Is it really going to look like wood? It looks fine online. So there's a lot of practicality and tactile requirements that you need to build into the store experience at that point. So in this store, so first was the demystification of the brand's promise of saying that what we have is, if you are saying this is going to be real wood, then so this is what we did. It's going to be real wood, it's going to feel like wood. It's going to be stone, it's going to feel like stone, and so on. Marble is going to feel like marble. So what we did there is to bring in the ingredients on top, and if you see below, customers can actually touch the real wood and touch the tile and say, yeah, this is pretty good what they have done. So this is very tactile, very practical way of communicating to the customer that what we propose is what we are going to deliver to you. Of course, there are testimonials about the brand which happened, and to take it, these are all tiles which have been cut. Even signages are built in tiles. Basically, it tells them, look, the tile also can be cut and it's strong enough. So that also was done there. This is the live tap bar, which also helped you experience the products right there practically. All the taps were lined up, live bar, and if you see the panels on either side, they were also rotatable, which makes it very practical to look at, standing in one place to look at a lot of variety of their complete assortment which is there. That was very important. And and one thing, and shower cubicle, which also is operated by IoT from a pad from outside. So it helps you, without, it's quite practical. You stand inside, you don't go in, operate the tap. So at the end of it, you're also able to see how the products operate in those inside, that kind of a condition. Now, one thing which we did, what we realized in our study, that the tile is as good as it's laid. I think those are interior design projects, they will understand that the tile is as good as, you can get a great tile laid very badly and then say the tile is bad. So we brought in the journey a tile master's table. So practically customers were able to, there were tools and others, and they could actually cut the tile and see. So it's a very practical thing. You can show it in a video, but I still want to feel it, right? Does it really work? Or are you showing a video which is, you've done it in very, very, like they say cars, right? Very, very ideal situation. What if I cut it? So we actually put this into a huge hit, saying that when people come to buy large quantities of tiles, and they know that they're going to make the right decision right there. So the practical part of it, and they feel happy, they feel satisfied. Again, the emotional part of it. saying, yes, I cut the tile, I saw it for myself, it's going to work for me. So this is where the emotional intelligence connected with practical intelligence was built into this format. And also, we also noticed that people select tiles and they compare tiles. So the lighting was planned in such a way, if you see the 45-degree angle, it's able to catch the light, and when you keep it in those sleeves which are there, the drawer-like sleeves which you see, you can actually keep tiles together, compare it, multiple collections of tiles. So the central, instead of just putting a table or a podium, we looked at this step display where customers could, along with the influencers, come, or even the staff, the tiles were heavy, staff would come and place it there. You can see different levels of how it's being done, angle, flat, and lighting also is planned in such a way, very practical, so that you ensure that you are able to make a very informed decision. And same thing on the floor. So there are floor tiles which people want to see. If you see the lighting on top, it ensures that the floor tiles are kept together, and there's a little niche on the floor where it can be done. And even in the discussion area, they do bring in tile samples, and to keep it on the table and search for that tile sample, they're all over the place. So we created these little drawers in which the tile samples were placed. So it's very easy for discussion. So all the selected tiles were brought there, kept there, and it was easy for the influencers, the staff, and the customer to sit there and have a meaningful, practical decision-making time, which is memorable. And at the end of it, they feel the stress is gone. I come in, I know what you're going to give me. That wooden tile looks like a wooden tile. Yes, it cuts very well, it lays well, it combines with others. I can sit, take a call. So the entire journey was made, stress-free, and and demystified. So this is where retail design in this particular format plays a very large role. And then let's look at emotional intelligence, in which there's analytical intelligence and artificial intelligence. So there are brands now where because of the type of products that they have and the type of interaction that is required, especially in the beauty segment. So I'm taking an example of a beauty segment and see how is it that they leverage that using retail design. Here is in this you need to bring in some amount of, a lot actually of technology that comes in, but I'll tell you in the end what the brand actually did. Technology was there, yet they did still leverage on human interaction in the store. So it's personalized, intuitive, and seamless is what this can deliver. So if you look at this Sephora, everybody knows Sephora, they have an innovation lab that looks at curating, personalizing, and making every purchase feel effortless. Because when you go into a beauty store, research does show that there are so many products, so many little products. There is choice anxiety, as it's called. And when you're anxious, you don't know which suits me, which doesn't suit. Some people, yes, they know exactly what they're looking for. But somebody walks into a store with a massive collection of products, how do you make a decision? So this is where both analytics and AI technology comes into play to help you kind of get rid of this choice anxiety, make you have purpose there, and when you walk into the store and make a decision and go out happy. So let's look at what Sephora did. So this Sephora Flash, they opened a smaller format in Paris recently. So normally their stores are 4,000 square feet plus, or some of them even larger. This is just 1,500 square feet. So how do we bring in that? And in a store like that, they have usually 14,000 products that they have. Their entire assortment apparently has 14,000 products. But this store had only 3,500 products that could be kept in the store to give a good experience. So when you have, and Champs-Élysées in Paris, the rentals are huge. So they took a choice again to have a smaller store and put up the store. Of course, you can see those on top, you have the digital screens and others. But what is important is that, how they made this whole journey be seamless, intuitive, very futuristic. So if you see that, so they're welcomed by this robot, they call it the Neo. The robot offers NFC tech virtual baskets. So everybody takes everybody takes a card. That's a virtual basket. So what do you do with that? I mean, you go to like this. They got a complete wall of perfumes. It's a complete wall of testers. So you don't need to stock these products. So you go to the tester and you just go to the tester and you have complete access to the digital catalog. You check the tester, you like the perfume, and then you build it into your cart. They'll pick it up from the back and give it to you or send it to where you are, to your home. So this is something, it helped actually them not only experience the product physically, but also to have it sent to you. So this is how technology. There were a lot of various things where they have place and learn. You can pick up a bottle and place it into that a little what do you call that? It's like a podium like thing, small thing, and then it gives you all the information. You can browse through and helps you make a call where you actually don't have to open the bottle. If you have to open the bottle, you go to the testers and do that. Color IQ is another one where advanced technology for matching makeup to skin tone. A lot of brands are using that. Even in India, I've seen that, but very purposefully used in the store. Or you have these virtual artists. Again, it's all about this color, how you bring in color to match your skin tone, which is used. And then you have the again online. You can browse, you can select, drop into the virtual basket and do that. So a lot of technology used here in the customer journey to enable them to browse through the huge assortment and make a decision. And the mini boutique, or the mini boutique is something where you choose up to 10 customized samples adapted to your skin, color and your taste. There's something which you can choose, and you get a sample of that through that, a free sample. Up to about 10 they allow you to take samples too. And AR to test different shades of makeup in store. Today I think one of the panels they did speak that there are still many customers who would love to take the actual product and try it on. This is AR, they're saying we still would want the actual product. So that is also done. Show you that, yeah. So they also have these makeup stations where they do that. So when they did all this, so they said, is Sephora heading for dehumanization of the customer relationship? Are they going to say that you walk in and you just interact with screens and all this technology, dehumanized? We are not going to be there to serve you. So is that what it is? People started thinking, is that what they're planning to do? But they had 15 sellers, 15 plus sellers. That is one seller plus 100 square feet in the store, which is 100 square feet, 10 by 10, there was one salesperson. So it's not that nobody was there. And they were all there to stand. It's one of their highest density of sales staff, apparently, this store. Though it's a smaller store, you would think that they would use technology and remove people. It's the other way around. They actually put more people in, where, so that's what their managing director, Marie Christine, said, that this is a community store. So at the end of it, all this technology, everything, again, needs to connect back to the community, needs to connect back to the emotional aspect of the consumer. So just to wrap up, so we looked at actually this, how emotional and social come together to enhance human interactions, how emotional and creative come together to create emotionally inspiring and memorable experience in the store, how emotional and practical they help deliver a stress-free humanized interaction. Now technology along with the emotional creates a personalized, intuitive and seamless experience. Yeah? And let's never forget, I mean, as all those who are retail designers or we have stores, that we don't just design spaces, we design how people feel within them. So which means you cannot really take away the emotional intelligence. It's something which we can really leverage, and I keep saying that we should never forget that, and that's going to be our key going forward. That's going to be one of our key anchors in retail design. Yeah. Thank you. That's all I have, and